Divorce has become a fact of life, but not for the royal family. King Edward VIII and Princess Margaret learned this the hard way through their relationships with divorced love interests Wallis Simpson and Mr Townsend, respectively. Edward relinquished the throne for love, while Margaret broke off her engagement to Mr Townsend in 1955. How the Queen Mother found royal life unpleasant after controversy. How Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton were able to join royal family. The Church of England's position had its first test in 1978, when Princess Margaret sought to end her marriage to Antony Armstrong-Jones, later known as Lord Snowdon. It was the first royal divorce since King Henry VIII's marriage to his fourth wife Anne of Cleves was annulled in 1540. The Countess of Snowdon's royal split was in line with the times, as divorce rates surged in the UK and the US in the 70s as a result of the era's liberal social trends. Another significant reason for the surge was the introduction of the Divorce Reform Act in 1971, which meant that couples were finally allowed to divorce on the grounds of separation. Divorce was beginning to become culturally normalised, and the Queen's sister Margaret was the first to nudge her family towards a more modern attitude. Margaret's marriage at the time was considered quite the scandal in royal circles, with most of the royal families of Europe boycotting the event. However, if it was her marriage that marked the first major way in which she broke free from the constraints of the royal family, it was her divorce which irrevocably removed her from them, writes royal biographer Christopher Warwick. As Margaret's biographer Mr Warwick points out in his 1984 book Princess Margaret, A Life of Contrasts, her unwitting legacy was that she made royal divorce acceptable. Something that no doubt helped her niece and nephews, three of whom got divorced themselves, but which she was largely vilified for in the press at the time in 1978. By the 90s, the royals could no longer sweep divorce under the rug, and, in 1992, three of the Queen's four children separated from or divorced their spouses. Princess Anne finalised her split from her first husband Mark Phillips Prince Andrew moved to legally end his marriage with Sarah Ferguson, and the separation of Prince Charles and Princess Diana was officially acknowledged. Divorce, while undesirable, had finally gained a degree of acceptance from the royals, according to Mr Warwick's biography. It still took an act from the Church of England to make a divorcee's second marriage possible, though. In 2002, the Church dropped their provision against remarriage for a divorced person with her living spouse. This breakthrough cleared the path for Prince Charles to finally marry Camilla Parker Bowles in 2005. They had both been divorced, but her previous spouse was still alive. Their wedding was the first in his family between two divorced people and became the monarchy's boldest acknowledgement against the stigma of marital breakdown.